F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*, a novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s, is first published. And in 1992,
What did I do to my life?
raunchy comedian Sam Kinison is killed when a pickup truck hits his car on a California highway. Kinison was 38 years old.
F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*, a novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s, is first published. All right, this was a tough one. F. Scott Fitzgerald's a novel, and I agree. Is it the or yeah. So after listening again, it almost kind of sounds in the middle, but I'm sure it's a novel about the American dream. And this one killed everybody in the Warring '20s. I think the most common wrong answer was warring. I'll write that down here. We'll compare the pronunciation. Warring and roaring. Okay, so we got a good pronunciation comparison coming up there. And the Roaring '20s is first published. So this is just your little anecdote, extra information. F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby* is first published. What is *The Great Gatsby*? A novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s. Okay, so that's a piece of cat hair on my lip. That's how that should be read. So F. We'll talk about this tomorrow. What is the F? We'll talk about it. F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*. And this is really tough here. We got a D, a heavy TH, and then a Z. Yeah, but it's there. It's really tough to catch, but it is there. Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*. Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*. F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*. *The Great Gatsby*, a novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s. The Roaring '20s. And let me bring this up here. Roar. Same thing, right? It sounds the same. I agree. The difference is the lips. Now remember, the W, we need to bring your lips together like you're kissing a baby's cheek. Okay? The R, not at all. Okay? And in fact, imagine making your lips into a square. So the W, a tiny O. The R, a square. They're the opposite. War. Roar. You gotta get that W. That's the big difference, okay? Roaring, warring. Roaring, warring. Let me look at me. Warring, roaring. Yeah. I want to see if it looks like a square. Of course it doesn't look like a square, but that's the image you have in your mind is kind of a good image. Make it a square. Roaring. So, lots of problems there. Roaring '20s, and I will talk about the Roaring '20s tomorrow. What did I do to my life? Raunchy comedian Sam Kinison is killed when a pickup truck hits his car on a California highway. Kinison was 38 years old. So here's another question. I can't believe it. I wanted to ask the question, from where did this come from? But then I thought, this is way too difficult, too impossible. But one of my students, Marek, sent where it came from in his answers file. I'm so surprised. That's great. So we'll talk about this, Sam Kinison, and what did I do to my life? Roar. Yeah. It's just roaring. We'll talk about Sam Kinison tomorrow. He is raunchy, vocabulary. He is raunchy, but he's quite interesting. A pickup truck hits his car. Very sad. We'll talk about all this tomorrow. Nothing too bad. Like I said, when I give you the answers, it doesn't sound that difficult. You can suddenly usually hear what I'm saying. Now, if it's a new word like raunchy or maybe pickup, that you're learning. But if you know raunchy, if you know a pickup truck, well, then it's like, oh, how did I miss? Right? Let's go back here. What did I do to my life? What did I do to my... I love the pronunciation. It's like Seinfeld style. What did I do to my, what did I do to my life? What did I do to my life? Raunchy, A-W, raunchy comedian Sam Kinison is killed when a pickup truck hits his car. When a pickup truck hits his car on a California highway, California has many highways. Which one? We don't know. On a California highway. Kinison was 38 years old. That's it, guys. The Titanic. 1925, F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby, a novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s, is first published. The Roaring '20s. So the Roaring '20s was an interesting time. It was after World War I, and people were leaving the country and starting to go to the city. White-collar jobs started to become very important. And when white-collar jobs become bigger, something interesting happened. The value, there's a big difference between men and women. Men were labor intensive, they worked with their hands, and women were at home cooking and taking care of the children. That's the way it was generally. But when this move to the city began, suddenly men and women were working together in offices professionally. Most of the women were being secretaries and things like that, but it really changed the landscape of America. And women, the economic value of women started to increase, and they started to really want suffrage or the right to vote. Women couldn't vote back then in the early 1920s. Alcohol was almost illegal in the United States, but the economy was going good. People are starting to get cars. Electricity is coming into homes. Plumbing is coming into homes. Highways are being built. With highways and cars, suddenly we have tourism. Things are really changing, and it's for basically 10 years, it's party time in the United States. And everybody has a dream to have a little house in a big city with a white fence and a dog, 2 kids running around. This became the American dream. To have a car, have a house, have a white fence, 2 kids, a wife, and a dog. This was the American dream back in the 1920s. But The Great Gatsby was a little bit different. The Great Gatsby was more on the rich lifestyles. And during F. Scott Fitzgerald's life, this book, The Great Gatsby, was nothing. After he died, then it became very popular. In fact, every high school student in America had to read this book. I don't know about now, probably not now, but me, I was in high school in the 1980s. I had to read this book. It is a good book. I recommend that if you get a chance to go ahead and read it, or you can just watch the movie. Leonardo DiCaprio was the star. And in 1992, what did I do to my life? This guy right here. Raunchy, dirty, bad words, sex. Raunchy comedian Sam Kinison is killed when a pickup truck, this is a pickup truck, hits his car And he had a sports car. I think he had a Corvette. I'm not sure. On a California highway. It was him and his wife in the car. He had been married for like 4 days. She survived. Kinison was 38 years old. Yeah, really sad story. Interestingly, Sam Kinison did not start his life as a comedian. He started his life as a preacher, preaching about God and Jesus. And when he was preaching about, Jesus saved us, he would scream, he was on the cross, I'm dying for you. That's what he would do when he was preaching about the Bible. And eventually he said, nah, I'm done. And he went to comedy and basically kept the same style, but became raunchy. Very popular. Right next to Sam Kinison, do you know this guy? This is John Bon Jovi, the singer. And this is Rodney Dangerfield, another comedian. Yeah, 3 big stars, but Sam Kinison no longer with us. Today in history, April 10th, San Diego Gazelle, the Associated Press. Looking at the glossary, effectively, Confederate.
F. Scott Fitzgerald's *The Great Gatsby*, a novel about the American dream during the Roaring '20s, is first published. And in 1992,
What did I do to my life?
raunchy comedian Sam Kinison is killed when a pickup truck hits his car on a California highway. Kinison was 38 years old.